everybody. So today I'm finally getting caught up with a whole bunch of tags that I've had forever. And so the first one that I wanted to do is one from Wright Cinemas, my friend, and he tagged me like in January, like a long time ago, and I'm finally just getting into it. I'm really sorry, but this tag is called the Movies of Your Life tag, and so there's some pretty good questions in here, and so I'm just going to go through them and give you my answers. So the first question is first steps. The first film you remember seeing as a kid. And I know that I saw many other films, but there's two films that really had a big impact to me as a kid. The first one was The Little Mermaid. I remember vividly when I saw it at the Villa Theater in Salt Lake that had a balcony, and it still exists, but they use it now to sell rugs, which I think is kind of sad. And yeah, just I loved it. It inspired me, and I still love it to this day. And then the other one that I really remember is going to see Home Alone, and I saw it with my grandparents, and I was just rolling on the floor laughing. It's the first movie that ever really made me laugh, and so it'll always have a kind of a special place in my heart for that reason. And so the next question is teenage crush. Which actor or actress did you have a crush on? You know, I was never a big one for crushes. I still am not really a Hollywood crush person. I don't know. I'm just weird that way. I just feel like I have to get to kind of know somebody before I like have a crush on them. And so I don't know. But the one that I did really like as a teenager was Harrison Ford. So he's the only one that I can really think of. I was never one to like have teen bopper posters on my wall or things like that. The next one is bad choices. A good outcome, a movie you watched and ended up enjoying even though you wanted to hate it. And I would say one that I went into thinking that I was going to hate and it was going to be terrible was Mr. Peabody and Sherman. I'm not a big fan of DreamWorks comedies in general, but I went into it with thinking it was not going to be very good, and then I saw it and I thought it was really funny and really well done, and so it's one of my favorite, if not my favorite, DreamWorks comedy. So that's one. And usually, like movies made off of beloved TV shows are usually from childhood are usually really terrible, and that one actually was pretty funny. So that's the one I can think of. The next one is first date. When you went on a first date, what movie did you see? I'm not married or in a relationship, and so I don't have a first date movie, but one I thought of that's sort of a funny movie story or dating movie story is I went to see She's All That and with a date once, and we were all alone in the theater, and it was so uncomfortable and so awkward, you know, to be like the only one in this romantic movie. So I could never watch She's All That in the same way. And while we were watching the movie, the fire alarm went on in the theater. So that was very funny. So anyway, the next one is home comforts. What movie reminds you of a time with your family? And I put Lord of the Rings, The Fellowship of the Rings, because I saw that with pretty much my whole family, and my sister was, I don't know, 10 or something then, and she just kept saying over and over again, "Oh, Legolas, he's so beautiful. He's so beautiful." And so we had a great time watching that film together as a family. Then other movies, Brave was one that I always think of my nieces because I took all of them to see it, and they got super scared, some of them by the bear. So I always have a fondness for Brave just because it reminds me of a good time with my nieces. Next is first heartbreak. What movie really upsets or hit you more than you thought? And I don't know, like there were a lot in the 80s that are super emotional. And I thought of like E.T. for one, but the one that surprised me that it's emotional, because obviously there's something like Schindler's List or something, but that's no surprise. But An American Tale. I would say, is one, because, you know, you just see the pictures and you go, oh, it's gonna be a cute little mouse story, and then it's got like super intense stuff, like very, very intense. So that's the one I thought of. Next one is Leaving Home. What movie was the first you watched without your family? And I don't know about first, but one movie that I definitely kind of sneaked that my mom would not have wanted me to watch is Dirty Dancing. I mean, just the name alone, my mom wouldn't have liked Dirty Dancing, and some of the plot elements my mom would not have been a fan of. So that was one I kind of, I guess, sneaked, if you could call it that. Watched it over at my friend's house. Okay, next is Good Times. What movie do you watch most and why? Lately, it's been Inside Out. It's just kind of like my go-to comfort movie. I don't even have to watch the whole thing. I just love it, and it's just comforting to me. And yeah, so Inside Out is up there for sure. Okay, next is Learn a New Language. What is your favorite non-English language movie? There's this movie called Babette's Feast that I love, about this woman who finally gets to make the feast of her dreams for these people who saved her life. And it's just wonderful. And then I also love lots of anime films, of course, and a movie called Afterlife I love that is by the director Kore Eda Hirokaza is his name. And it is such a moving, beautiful movie that will make you think about your life. It's about there's this way station, and each person, when they get to the way station after they've died, have to pick one memory that they're going to have a movie made about that memory. And it's interesting to see the process that all of them go to in making their decision and what they decide to do. It's really, really good film. So, okay. Then Can't Leave the Sofa. What series on TV got you hooked? One I thought of right away is 24. I mean, just every episode just ended with a cliffhanger, and you had to know what was going to happen, and it drew me in. And it just, you know, that it was 1 hour of one day, and so that's a really good one, I think, is 24. Next, Sick Day. What movie do you watch if you don't feel well to cheer you up? I would say I've always watched, for a long time, watched Happy Feet, especially like that first hour. It goes some weird places in the second hour that I don't really like, but that first hour is just so cheerful that if you're sick, it's a perfect movie to put in and just have the cheerful songs and be cheerful. Okay, next is Looking to the Future. What movies are you looking forward to seeing? Honestly, I have pretty tame expectations, I guess, this year, but I am looking forward to seeing War of the Planet of the Apes. If that's bad, I'll be super disappointed. But I already kind of had one of my most anticipated with Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 2, and then The Last Jedi. I think those are the only three that I'll be really sad if they're bad. But yeah, so we'll see. Then next is If Only. What old movie do you want to see remade? And, you know, I think the ideal movie to be remade is a movie that was flawed but had a lot of potential. And so I'm going to go, it's not really that old, but I'm going to go with Hunchback of Notre Dame, the Disney, because I think it had a lot of potential, but I think they just weren't quite brave enough. They didn't go all the way, and so it didn't monopolize on that potential. So that's what I would pick. The last question is End of the Road. What 3 films do you think you will always enjoy watching? There's seriously probably 300 films that I'm just somebody, I just don't get sick of things the way other people do. If I like it, I like it. And but I don't know, from the time I pretty much saw them, they've been my top 5 movies have not changed since my 20s. And I've got I don't know, like, I guess Up is a newer since my 20s, but anyway, Up is my favorite movie, and then I have Little Mermaid, Breakfast at Tiffany's, It's a Wonderful Life, and Star Wars. All of those movies I could watch anytime. I will never get sick of them. I can guarantee you that. So that is the answers to all of these questions. Thank you to Wright Cinemas for tagging me. Make sure you guys go check out his channel. It's awesome. He's awesome. And I'll put a link down to in the description below. If you want to do the tag, go ahead and do it. I'm not going to tag anybody because I just don't remember at this point who's been tagged, who hasn't been tagged. But if you'd like to do it, please do it and let me know if you do it. And put in the comment section your answer to these questions. That would be a lot of fun. So thanks so much, and please subscribe to my channel. And I hope you're all having a great Wednesday, and I'll talk to you later. Bye.